just opened up my book, started reading the first sentence in the paragraph, when I heard what sounded like a freight train coming through my bedroom. I jumped out of the bed, and then there was a thumping sound that consecutively got much faster. And with each thump, I felt the rig actually shake. Then there was an initial boom. The lights went out.
And there was a huge explosion.
The rig is blowing. The rig is blowing.
The explosion rocked the rig about 10 o'clock Central Time, spraying flames in every direction.
Well, I saw fire from derrick leg to derrick leg.
And you have oil and gas under pressure underground that erupts upward.
It was extremely loud. It actually started sounding like a living thing.
It's the sound of escaping gas, feeding the fireball, incinerating the deep-water horizon.
It's like you're almost waiting to die. There's people screaming. You feel the heat from the fire.
I'm scared to death. I figured this is my time. I'm gonna die.
126 people were on board at the time of the explosion.
Some jumped more than 75 feet into the ocean.
The Coast Guard is pressing its search today for 11 workers still missing.
I started to have a bad feeling when the sun came up. It got very precarious at that time. Time was running out.
In the news, the Coast Guard is pressing its search today for 11 workers still missing on a burning oil drilling platform off the coast of Louisiana. Fireboats are struggling to put out flames triggered by the explosion on Tuesday night.
We left from the rig. We rode for probably a good 4 hours to another platform. The guys on that platform, they sent down a bag with some cigarettes and some snuff in it and stuff, and some clothes.
The survivors who were not injured are now making their way to shore. They will be arriving here in port later this evening. The search for the missing will continue through the night.
A pair of Coast Guard cutters stayed out in the Gulf all night looking for these missing workers. They will be joined a little bit later by one of these choppers, which is set to leave at first light here. And as you can imagine, the longer this search and rescue mission goes without resolution, the more fear and concern grow.
When we got off the boat, they brought around 3 or 4 prepaid cell phones. And we're passing those around. Everybody was, passing, talking to their family for about 30 seconds. So they're just letting them know they were off the boat. That was the first time I got to talk to my wife. From there, we rode to New Orleans to the Crown Plaza. And we went in the back of it because they told us there was so many lawyers and media out front. They were making us go in the back, and all our families were waiting. That was the first time I got to see my wife. She ran up smiling, and then by the time she got her arms around my neck, she was burst out in tears. Both of us did.
We were on site about midnight, so we were only on site in a relatively short period of time. I started to have a bad feeling when the sun came up and we could get a more accurate assessment of the extent of the damage on board the oil rig. And you could see the derrick leaning over on the crane, and you could actually see what used to be incredibly stout steel sagging like a clothesline. It got very precarious at that time, and we were all very, very concerned that time was running out. But at around 10 o'clock, we could see the aft starboard corner starting to slowly drop into the sea. The loud groans coming out of this vessel as she broke up was becoming much more pronounced. We started to back off. A thick sheen of brown emulsified oil still on fire behind. I think, unfortunately for us, we were fighting a losing battle from the start. But you still feel a tremendous loss. You still feel a tremendous sense of failure. My thinking immediately shifted to that of the people on board. You're there to help the loved ones of those people that may be missing come to some sense of closure. It was quite a silence on the bridge. And I know we were all thinking the same thing. You feel the loss. You feel the failure. You feel it deep. And it settles in more and more as time goes by and as adrenaline subsides. I'm still going over things in my mind.
There were 126 crew members on board the rig. 11 of the workers never had a chance. They were killed in the explosion. Their bodies never recovered.
These guys on the deep water are the fighter pilots of our profession. They are the rock stars. The very best of the best work on the deep water. And they don't accept anything less.